video, we're going to be discussing how you can add existing web content within your iLearn subject. To do this, we're going to use a technology which is called Embed Code that allows you to grab existing content on other websites and actually house that inside your iLearn course for a seamless experience. So to start with, what exactly is Embed Code? Well, Embed Code allows you to place any web resource, whether it be a video, an image, a page, a presentation, or any other range of interactive content within your iLearn site. It's different to a HTML link. So the way we would traditionally link content within iLearn is we just add a URL, and that actually, when clicked, opens up in a separate page, a website or other resource. So the difference is with an Embed Code is it's much more seamless. So the example on the left you can see is a YouTube video which has been embedded within an iLearn page. The students can click play on the video and it will actually play within the box that you can see. The example on the right is a tool called Quizlet, which has been previously covered in this video series. In this example, students can actually click on the interactive and work their way through it right within the iLearn browser. So there were basically 3 steps to using Embed Code within your iLearn site. The first step is to find Embed Code. So you can actually find this quite easily on a number of very popular websites, and I'll go through some examples of that shortly. The second step is to actually customize the code. Now, you don't have to customize the code, but you may decide that you would like to make some modifications, usually to the size of the embedded object within your iLearn site, and being able to do some basic customization is a useful technique. And the third step is actually inserting that code within your existing iLearn subject, and this is most of the time just a copy and paste job. So let's start off with an example of how you could use Embed Code with YouTube, very popular channel. Okay, so here I've got a YouTube video basically straight from the iLearn at Bond site. If you look down the bottom of the video, you'll see there's a range of different options. Okay, what I'm interested in is the share option. So if I click on the share option, you can see there's some other options which appear. And you'll notice there's a button there which says embed. When I click on the embed button, you'll see that there's a series of code there which has been highlighted, and there's also a tick box. So this is a particular feature to do with YouTube Embed Code. I can actually choose to add a playlist that's attached to that video. So you might decide that you found a great video series, you can play the first video and you can actually include the playlist with that video series. Okay, so let's actually copy this code and we'll start looking at what's actually going on. Okay, so this is the code that YouTube has created, and we can actually edit this code before we put it into iLearn and make some changes to it. So I'm going to point out a few things about this code which may be reasonably self-explanatory. So the first thing is at the beginning of the bit of text, there's something called iframe. So iframe is basically a way of telling iLearn that there's an object there and that object needs to be embedded. So iframe is a very standard way of embedding objects. So if ever you find some code that says iframe at the beginning, that's usually what it's referring to. The next 2 sections you can see is it's mentioning the width and the height. So this is going to be the width and the height of the YouTube video when it's actually embedded inside the subject. Now, you can leave those as the defaults and there's not a problem with that. However, what I've been finding is if I make the width 670 pixels and the height, if it's a widescreen, will be about 410, and any widescreen YouTube video clip, if I actually look at this on the iPad, that's a good width and height for it to embed inside the subject. And it also looks quite good on Windows as well. So that's a small change that I found useful. Underneath you can see it's got the source. That's basically just the address of the YouTube clip. And then underneath it's got frame border equals 0. So frame border, that's really just a line around the outside edge of the video. So if you want to have a line around the outside of the video, you could actually type in a number there and that will be the thickness of that line. And then the last option there, which is allow full screen, and that enables you to full screen the video or not. Okay, so basically what we need to do is we need to copy this code and take it into iLearn. Okay, so I've logged into iLearn and I've created a new item. So firstly, I'll create a title for this item. So I might call it my embed page, this example. And underneath, this is typically where you'd be writing your content. Now, I would generally advise you to write some content before you start typing. So in this case, I'm going to type in my YouTube video. So I'm going to give it a heading, some paragraph text. Okay, now I'm ready to add my embed code. So to add the embed code, the easiest way is to just click on the HTML button. And you can see this has opened up the HTML code view. So we've got a heading there, which is what the H4 tag is telling me, which is my YouTube video. And then I've got some paragraph text there, so it's telling me I've got some paragraph text. So basically, I just want to copy and paste the embed code directly after that. Okay, once I've done that, I just need to click on the update button down the bottom. And you'll notice that you can see there's a yellow box which has been added. So this is actually the embed object. Now, if I want to view that, I actually have to save it. And you can see it says my embed page. It's got the video there. I can click play. It actually starts playing the video. Students can click on the watch on YouTube, which will open it inside YouTube. They can turn on subtitles and all the other features which are part of a standard YouTube video. So that's basically in a nutshell how you use the embed code. Some common sites that have embed code which you may wish to use. SlideShare is a very popular slide sharing program, and a lot of people use it to host their educational presentations. You can actually embed those within your iLearn subject. Another example is Prezi, which is a PowerPoint alternative that many will be familiar with. You can actually embed Prezi presentations also within iLearn. At the bottom of any Prezi presentation, you'll see that there's an embed button there that you can grab the embed code from. Lynda.com also allows embed code. The only problem with Lynda.com is that it'll only work on videos which are free to the public. So if you have a course, the intro to the course video is generally available. However, the actual subject videos for the course may not be able to be embedded within your iLearn subject. But the other great thing about embedding Lynda is when you finish watching the video, it will actually link to the Lynda course so students can watch the rest of the series if they wish. Okay, I'm going to briefly show a website called Embed Lee, which is a relatively recent development, but Embed Lee basically allows you to create embed code from any website on the internet. And I'll show you an example of how that works. Okay, so to use Embed Lee, the first thing you need to do is to go to the Embed Lee site. It's basically embed.ly, and you'll see the homepage looks something similar to this. And what you're looking for there's a button directly on the home site which says Create Embed, and that opens the embed code generator. And it's basically telling me to paste a URL into Embed. Okay, so I'm going to use this example link here. So this is a Flipboard magazine. If you're not familiar with Flipboard, it enables you to actually collate a bunch of websites and turn it into an interactive magazine. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to embed a link to that Flipboard magazine and put it inside the iLearn subject. So what first thing I do is I'm actually going to copy the URL. So it can be any URL. Come back to the embed code generator and paste that URL in. And you can see it'll take a little minute for it to think about that. And then it's actually going to generate an embed link. So this is showing you what it's going to look like within my iLearn subject. So you can see it's picked the first picture and the description and author of the article. Okay, and down the bottom here we have the embed code. There's an option there for dark background. I wouldn't advise you use it because it's not compatible with iLearn, which has got a particular way of styling that doesn't seem compatible. But one thing you might want to have a play around with is this idea called analytics. Okay, if you turn analytics on, you can see it's got this little graph here, and that graph is actually going to tell me how many students are clicking on that embedded object. So that can be a really useful way of finding out what students are doing and what they're actually clicking through. With YouTube videos and a few other different websites, it will actually tell you how much of the video they watched as well. So that can be a really beneficial tool if you're interested in some analytics about how your students are engaging with your subject. Okay, so same deal. I'm going to copy this code, come back into my iLearn subject. Okay, I'm actually going to put the embed code after the previous object we created before. So I'm going to click on HTML, open up the same HTML just to show you what's possible. and I'm just going to post that information there. Now you'll notice with Embed Lee, it actually doesn't define a width or a height. And the reason why is it will actually automatically resize it to suit whatever browser or whatever device you're using. So that's one of the benefits of using Embed Lee, so you don't have to worry about that. So I'm just going to click update and I'm going to submit this page. Okay, so you can see our page here. It's basically embedded that as an object underneath. If I click on it, it's actually going to open my link inside Flipboard. If you open it on the iPad, it actually opens up the Flipboard app if you have it installed as well. So that's just a really beneficial way of using existing content in different ways. I hope that you found this video useful and that Embed Code may be able to offer your students a more engaging way of interacting with your content. Thanks for watching.